My mother was born on May 20th, 1927, the day that Charles Lindbergh flew the Atlantic. And when she was a little girl, she knew that and was kind of proud of that and was always interested in flying. When she got to college age, she applied to become a flight attendant. She was told that she need not apply because she wore glasses. She's as blind as her daughter is. Mom accepted that verdict and became a pilot. She didn't beat against the door, and she lived her life that way. And I grew up witnessing that, and it's really served me well. My mother is my greatest role model. My name is Annie Griffiths. I have been a photographer for about 35 years. Because I was one of the first women photographers at Geographic, I think there was an assumption that it would be a disadvantage. And what I've found is it's been a huge advantage. I can't be where the guys are sometimes, and men can't be where the women are. We all have these realities that are who we are. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't. I work in a lot of places where they've never heard of National Geographic, and where I'm often an aberration. This white chick with no guy along to manage her. People are frightened for me, they're protective of me, they're bewildered by me, but almost universally they're kind to me. That has led me to my personal goal, which is to have my photographs be useful as well as beautiful. I believe it is more difficult to make positive images. It's hard to take a picture of someone and show that they're smart, and we must do that. Great photographers can make those pictures that speak to the light in a person's eyes, that speak to hope and determination and courage and brilliance. Ripple sort of began growing in my mind as I spent time with poor women. What I learned from them is that they tend to pay forward any opportunity they have, first to their kids, and then their parents, their family, their girlfriends, their community. Women who we see as victims have no interest in being victims. They're often victimized, but they are in no way victims. They're, I believe, the solution on the planet. About 20-some years ago, I started doing aid work. And as other women, colleagues at National Geographic, went out into the world, they started doing the same thing. It dawned on me that if we women photographers pulled together, we could get a lot more done. It's what women do.
This is kind of the most fun.
I literally woke up and decided to see if my girlfriends would join hands and tackle this.
I'm like used to it.
They all said yes. We look for programs that are innovative, are sustainable, that support women and girls in developing countries who are living on the edge of collapse. At Ripple, we're not trying to make happy little images, but we're trying to honor this population of women and girls by telling and illuminating who they really are. My colleagues and I, we hang out in their kitchens. We know they're funny, they're irreverent, they're bright, they're capable. One of our biggest jobs is to not pity these women, but to admire them. We try to really look at one organization or one group of women that's doing something unique and successful. By covering their program, we gave them visual storytelling tools that allowed them to expand their work to more countries. Key to that plan was the idea of an archive that could then be repurposed and accessed by multiple organizations, all leading to spreading the message that women and girls are the best investment. 2 cents out of every American aid dollar goes to women and girls, when the data shows that they pay it forward at 3 times the rate that men do. So right there, that's just bad math. Hopefully we'll make a little dent in that ignorance. One of the things that's very important to us is to take a look at what climate change does to people who are living on the edge. I think we kind of assume climate change would affect everyone equally. But it's the women and girls who have to go further and further to fetch water. It's the women and girls who nurse the sick as diseases spread. It's the women and girls who, when they flee a climate disaster, are taking their kids, their parents. The facts are that in any climate disaster, 70% of the people who die are women. They're just carrying a bigger load. It's not a political issue. It's a human issue. One of many programs we covered was in Kenya, where small groups of women were provided with seeds and some training, and they have planted 50 million trees. That's global. We benefit from that, sitting in this room in New York. For their lives, it has meant they can trade on the carbon market. They're stopping horrible erosion that happened because of deforestation. That program of theirs can also inspire a program in South America where they're dealing with the same issue, but they aren't aware of what the solutions can be. That's the ripple effect. It's unbelievable how many people in this world spend most of their day searching for water, really horrible water that nobody should be drinking, that allows them to survive but not thrive. We covered a program in Kenya where women were literally walking 11 hours every single day to get water. It was taking an unbelievable toll on their bodies, on their ability to earn a living, for their daughters to go to school. By bringing a little engineering and a little cement in, women were taught how to build sand dams to hold that water so it doesn't just evaporate. Now it's a 30-minute walk for all these communities instead of an 11-hour walk. And so, boom, the girls are going to school. The women are finding little industries. The community is lifted. I mean, if that's not the ripple effect, I don't know what is. This is a country where you have this amazing crossover of tremendous poverty and extraordinary innovation. The really smart aid organizations capitalize on that innovation and say, okay, let's bring it to your own people. One of the things that I just think is so unknown in the Western world is how much of the world agriculture is done by women. They are the farmers of much of the world. If you have a group of people who are doing the hard labor, they usually are not taught how to market what they're creating. And that's very true with agriculture. Someone else comes in and tells them how much they will be paid, and they're completely vulnerable to that decision. Take it or leave it. This wonderful group in India is teaching women to work cooperatively. The women farmers would bring in their crop. Women would grade it, sort it, weigh it. A woman on a cell phone would be the commodities broker who was calling down to the market to find out the going price, and she was the middleman for them. She'd sell the whole works and come back inside where all the women are gathered and tell them, here's what you just made. And literally, their hands would go up. I mean, people were like, yay! I mean, all the women in this little warehouse. It was contagious and magical. They can control their own lives. Anywhere in the world, if I was working with poor people, and if I said to a mother, what is the one thing you wish your children could have that you don't have? Every single time it was, I wish my kids could go to school. I wish for them an education. That's been stunning to me, just stunning. Barefoot College was such a wonderful surprise. They had embraced the simple concept that just because a person is uneducated does not mean they can't be taught. The most famous example is what they've done with solar lanterns. They've taken poor women and they bring them in for an intense period of time where they build 50 solar lanterns. Then they return to their village with those 50 solar lanterns and with the parts to make 50 more so that they can educate other women. I went with them when they brought the 50 lanterns to their village, to women who'd never had a light, and these are their girlfriends. Man, just the body language on this solar engineer, just her dignity as she held up the first lamp. It's priceless to watch all the women as each of them receives the most amazing thing they've ever seen in their lives, and it's theirs. It's hard for anyone in the Western world to understand what a solar lantern provides for a woman and a family. If your day ends when the sun goes down and you have absolutely no option of light, so many things are limited. Kids who work in the salt mines have to be out during the daylight hours working. With a solar lantern, they can go to a night school. Barefoot College's night schools attract 70,000 kids. A woman or a girl who has no education will jump at the opportunity to learn. That's what we're after. That's what we're trying to shine our own little light on, is those opportunities for women and girls that they own, that they control, that they build and hold sacred and feel connected to, and that raises not only their standard of living, but their self-esteem. My understanding of the strength and determination and hopefulness of women worldwide is just a force to be reckoned with. They are forces of nature. have tremendous belief in the changes that can be made if women can be empowered. And if girls have those powerful women to look up to, there will be a ripple effect. Because if you help a woman, you help the planet. Pretty much that simple.